If you are interested in aerating your lawn and you're not really up for this manual cheap thing, I'm going to teach you how you can rent one of these things for cheap, going in on it with some neighbors, so we can get a nice aeration for the lawn. So let's get started. All right, it is spring and I want to aerate my lawn. Before I do that, I'm going to dethatch my lawn because after the winter, I've got lots of dead thatch and grass that has just kind of compiled and fell in above the soil. So this machine here really lifts all that up. That's another story. I've got another video on that. And I basically mow that up and then toss it. So once that's done, then the grass is ready for this bad boy, the actual aerator. Now these things are very expensive, so buying one's really out of the question. Instead, I'm going to rent one, and you need a tow hitch on the back of your vehicle if you've never done this before. I've got a 2-inch ball on the back of my minivan. They ended up switching this out because it was a little too low, but still. By the way, welcome to the channel. Do lots of home projects around the house, saving you time and money. Click that subscribe button. I put out videos regularly. Like this video and share this with somebody that you know. And if you want to make your own YouTube channel and turn your hobbies into real cash every month, check out my course. You can click the link in the description below. So we're going to drive on down to the local tool rental place, and you'll want to call before to get the price and all the details. We rented ours on a Saturday and actually got it for 24 hours, but they were closed on Sunday, so we got to keep it till Monday. So that basically a full day and a half. And they give you a little trailer as well for it, so which was just a little extra. You could certainly put it in the back of your minivan, but I don't recommend it. It's very, very heavy. So they hook it all up for you, give you a hitch, a ball, and the trailer, and then you bring it home and you back it up and you pull this thing off of the trailer. And I'm doing this with one hand. You don't lift it, you just back it up so that it lands on its back wheel, and then lift it, kind of tip it backwards, and then it kind of comes off like that. And it's pretty heavy. This is not a toy, nothing to mess around with. Let me give you a quick tour of what this thing looks like if you've never seen one before. I've got a chain operated, and it's got this huge flat thing that basically acts to press things down and give it a little extra weight. And these are the plugs here, the big aeration pieces that sink into the ground, and there's lots of them, you can see. So it just it plugs your lawn, so it takes out pieces of soil, and the idea here is that oxygen can get down into your lawn, and if you do this regularly, this helps with the overall health of the grass and helps it grow. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've never done an empirical test on that, but here it is. We've got fuel on and off. We've got the choke, and it does have a pull start, just like a lawnmower. And then there's the kill button on the front, on and off. So we'll click that to the on button. There's oil. We don't need to mess with that. If we need gas, this is a 4-stroke motor, so no mixing of oil and no ethanol is what they told me for this particular model. And I'll try to find this model and put it below for specs if you are interested. And some other aeration tools as well, that you'll see one of them later in the video, because this thing does not get close to the edge. You don't want it to hit cement, right? So you're going to have the perimeter of your lawn that's less aerated, because it's pretty tough. Now, getting this thing started up for the first time, and I'm doing this with one hand here, we've got the go button, so it is self-propelled, but it's only got kind of one speed. You can change the speed, but on its slowest speed, it's actually quite fast. I call it going from 0 to 60 pretty quick, and it's got a little torque too, so you got to be really paying attention or you will get into some trouble here. It's pretty heavy. Turning it is not easy, I'm not going to lie. It's quite physical. Let's get my wife out here, see what she thinks.
There you go. Again, hard. There you go. Oh, stop. Let go. There you go.
Oh yeah, she was not a fan. But once you practice a little bit on some flat land, you get the hang of it. And it is pretty physical, like I said, especially if you've never done this before, so don't underestimate that. I actually found, we've got a hilled backyard. I actually found the hill was quite easy to do because it slowed it down as I went up the hill to the appropriate speed, and I could really control it walking it back down, just like this. So you just kind of go over, I went over each area. It took a little while, but not as long as you'd think. And I went over each area about 2 times. Here's some other views of that hill and what that kind of looks like, and my technique here. So once you kind of get a rhythm, once you got a feel for it, take a break, stay hydrated, get some Gatorade, get some water, and when you're done, whew, yeah, it's actually pretty tough and put on some gloves. I've got some blisters here to show for it. I am so proud, baby. This was cool. By the way, I went in on this with 3 different neighbors, so the total was like $122 divided by 3. So it was that like $40 a person, not too bad. And then I used this little tool here to get the edges and the perimeter, like I said earlier. And the end result here is a lovely aerated yard. Every 3 to 4 inches or so, you've got these deep holes. Again, it just leaves the soil on the grass, so it looks like little pieces of poop or something, but it is compacted soil that will just disintegrate and go back into the ground over time. And then I'm going to seed, of course, and water that well, and hopefully we'll get some nice growth happening. And I tried sprinkling it by hand, but a spreader is much nicer. Open that thing up a little bit and just get some good coverage. Now, as far as returning this thing, I didn't have to clean it. There was nothing in my contract that said it had to be clean or even filled back up. So I just put it back on the trailer like this. And of course, you want to use tie downs because you're traveling with it. And the trailer may or may not be highway legal. Mine was just in town, so it didn't even have brake lights or anything. And I returned it to the shop, and it was as easy as that. So hopefully this video has helped you out, and time to eat. Let's go.